Hello. Good morning, good afternoon, good night, good evening. Whatever time you're listening to this, hello. So I'm just gonna come before you today with a really quick word. I've also put this word on my Instagram. Um, if you're not following us, please do. It's at goodthing.restoration. Please be sure to follow us on Instagram. I post a lot there. I'm gonna try and post more here. But Instagram's just been my go-to because it's a little quicker when God gives me a word to just type it out and post it really quickly. But I'm going to try and get better with that, with posting here as well. So this word I have is really powerful, and it's really been speaking to me and helping me out the last couple of days that I've been sitting with it before I decided to go ahead and post it. So, a couple of days ago, I was on the phone with my husband. We had a further emotional conversation. I'm not going to go into details about what the conversation was. But if you're in this journey, most of the time those conversations leave you feeling one or two ways. Sometimes the conversation can give you a little bit of hope. It can ignite your faith, and sometimes it can dampen your faith and leave you confused and wondering, if you heard God correctly, if this is where you're supposed to be, if this is what you're supposed to be doing, and all of those things. So this particular conversation left me feeling a little confused and just wondering, like, God, why is my marriage still not restored? Why am I still believing in something that, at the moment just looks helpless and hopeless and like nothing's ever going to change? When in the reality, a lot of things have changed. Some of them for the better. But in that moment, it just didn't feel that way. So, after our conversation, I left out to go to work. And like, as soon as I walked out my door and I looked up, a car rolled past me and it was wrapped. You know how they have cars wrapped nowadays. But anyway, the car said recovery and restoration. And like in that very moment, I felt chills. Like I felt God. Like I knew it was Him because like first of all, I left out later than I was supposed to. So I just knew that it was Him. God does not operate in coincidence. I don't believe that. I believe everything that He does, everything that happens is intentional. He operates with intention, not in coincidence. So, I just was really like, wow, God, thank you for that. So, I pondered on it after that moment. I asked, for some clarification and some confirmation, just to ask Him to speak to me about that. And so I kept hearing Him say, not recovery and restoration, recovery, then restoration. So I said, wow, that's awesome. So, what God was speaking to me about is that in this moment, so many of us are so worried about our marriages being restored, but we're still hurting from the things that happen. Um, and the restoration is not going to happen until you're recovered. You have to recover first, because when God does give you restoration, when God does open that door for restoration to occur, you can't go into the new thing with the old hurt, the old pain, the old damage, the old triggers. You have to recover from those things, because in all actuality, while we're recovering on our side, hoping for restoration, our spouses are recovering and they don't even know it most of the time. They don't even realize that they're recovering and that God is working in them and through them. So you have to be fully recovered, because most of the time when the spouses come back, they're not fully recovered. So you have to be there so that you can assist them in their recovery. A part of your assignment in this whole restoration process could be to assist in the healing of your spouse. You understand that? Like right now, while we are standing, we are going through a recovery process. We are drawing closer to Jesus. We are building a better relationship with our Father. Some of us are probably praying more, we're fasting more, we're interceding more, where, just speaking to God, having more conversations with Him, and that is a part of your recovery. But most of our spouses aren't doing that. They're still living in sin. They're still sinning. They're still wayward. They're still absent. They're still not around. So we have to be fully recovered to be able to accept them when they come back. And a big part of that recovery is forgiveness. If you haven't forgiven your spouse for the things they have done to you, recovery is going to be even harder. Um, and everyone's recovery looks different. Just like when you have surgery, everybody recovers differently. Your recovery could be you need to practice more self-love, more self-care, taking better care of yourself. Somebody else's recovery could be they need to get better with their spending habits, because that could have been what drew their marriage apart in the first place. There's so many things that you could do to assist and aid in your full recovery. So I urge you to go to God and find out what it is that you need to do to start your recovery, because everybody's recovery is going to be different. Everybody's recovery is going to look different. But I can guarantee to you that until you have began your process and are recovered, your marriage will not be restored. You're not going to be able to go into a new situation with all these old feelings and these old triggers and these old hurts and these old pains, and still blaming your spouse and still arguing and fussing about things that happened that led to the separation of your marriage or whatever the situation is for you. So I urge you to take this time and recover from whatever is going on in your marriage, recover from the hurt, the pain, recover. And I wish you all a speedy, I'm not going to even say that. I don't wish you a speedy recovery. I wish you a healthy and a safe recovery, because I'm not going to say speedy, because this is going to happen in God's time and not yours. And I mean, let's just be honest. A healthy recovery can't be rushed. You can't rush it, because if it's rushed, it's not healthy. There's still going to be triggers in the background that you don't even realize that are there. So take this time and recover. Recover your heart, recover your mind, recover your soul from all the hurt and the pain that it's dealt with over the last however long it's been for you. Deal with that, because until you deal with that and until you're fully recovered, there will not be restoration. Recovery, then restoration. Recovery, then restoration.